Starting today for your Union Lady Cougars.
All right, welcome to Union High School.
12,
it is state tournament softball time. I'm joined by Brandon Jones here as we get set for this opening round playoff game. The number 1 seed Union Cougars will be hosting the number 6 seed out of Region 15, the Richfield Wildcats. They are introducing the starting lineups at this time. Brandon, what are your thoughts about today?
You know, I'm just super excited about, Channel V6 doing a softball game for the first time. And what a venue to do it on with these brand new fields here at Union Stadium. It's really awesome, and the atmosphere is really cool where we get a front row seat right in front of the plate. And not to mention the great teams, Union Cougars, they're 10-0 in their region, they're undefeated, and Richfield Wildcats, they're 5th in their division, but they're 3-8 in their region. And it should be a good game and a good battle. There's some really good players on both sides. Top to bottom, there's some really good players for Union, and there's 3 or 4 great players for Richfield that we'll talk about here pretty soon.
Looks like we're going to go ahead and stand for the national anthem, so we'll stick around for that.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, as you can hear, it is a close to capacity crowd here, and they are loud and ready to get some softball action going. I know from I coached softball for a season, and it is much louder and much more raucous, both in the dugouts and in the stands, than in your baseball games. So there will be some noise today. You'll hear some chants probably coming from the dugouts, and these girls play with a lot of excitement and a lot of enthusiasm, and we should be in store for a great game today.
And especially in a state playoff team like this, a game like this. And then in center field, we have the big screen. That is just awesome to look at. We're here. We also kind of keep our head on a swivel for foul balls here, me and Merlin. We'll be watching out here, and just expect an awesome game.
All right, your starting lineups. First for Richfield, they will be batting first as the visiting team. They will send their pitcher, number 22, that is Torgerson, to the batter's box first. She will be followed by the center fielder, Baugh, number 18. The third baseman, Christensen, wears 25. She will bat third. The cleanup hitter, wearing number 8 and catching, is Morgan. In left field, wearing number 25 and batting fifth, is Pershawn. Number 9, wearing 98. I love that number for a softball player, is Knutson. Hitting seventh, playing first base, will be Smith, and second base will be number 6, Janke, and playing shortstop will be number 3, Franks. Defensively, on the hill for the Cougars is Rook. Doing the catching is Horrocks. First base is Bostic. Second base, Lamb. Ross at third. Nilsson at short. Outfield of Nilsson, Bartlett, and Hyder, as that first pitch comes in for a strike. So strike one on Torgerson.
And Allie Rook, she can pitch, I tell you. She's 17-4 on the season. Their go-to, and some next-level talent right there at the pitcher's mound.
I believe some of these girls are moving on to the next level, have signed scholarships as that ball is fouled straight back. We'll run the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, there's actually 5 of them on this team, and they're all going to Big Bend Community College in Moses Lake, Washington. So that's pretty awesome that they can keep that chemistry going into a college level.
That pitch is low, gets past the catcher. It will be 2-2 on the count. Marley Horricks is the catcher. Where's number 7?
And Allie Torgerson is their go-to pitcher, too. I don't know if she's going to pitch today because they do have a few. But she already has 1 home run and 1 triple and 10 doubles. So big-time player for the Wildcats.
Full count here. That ball is smacked to center field. And off of the glove of Nilsson. That's going to be a double. And the Richfield Wildcats have brought the noise here today.
Yeah, we got the student section right directly behind us.
18,
Yeah, and they're loud. So a leadoff double there by Torgerson.
So make that number 11 on the season for Torgerson. The double queen.
It was a shot to straightaway center. Nilsson gave it a good shot to catch it, but it was just off of her glove. Where we're located here, it's going to be tough to see plays to right field, so I'm going to have to rely on Brandon. He's got a little better angle than I do. Strike 1 to Baugh, who is the Richfield center fielder.
And Baugh, she's a really good hitter, too. Averages a .468 on the year, which is very good numbers.
Count 1-1. So Richfield has come into this game leading off with a double from Torgerson. Baugh now takes inside, 2 balls and 1 strike on her.
And just watching, you know, the strike zone is different than baseball and softball. There's a smaller, you know, it's very small, so you got to hit it in the right spot.
Well, and that ball is fouled off, 2-2 now the count. The ball's coming up versus dropping like in baseball, just from the angle of the way the pitcher is. We'll talk about some of the differences between the two as we go along here today. That high pitch is fouled off. Ball will stay alive. No outs here in the top of the first. We are scoreless.
And even those are a little bit high. She's swinging at him to keep in the game right now, making herself alive at the plate.
That's a called 3rd strike on a outside corner. So the first out of the game is a called 3rd strike as Rook catches that outside corner and Baugh goes down on strikes. This will bring up the third baseman, Christensen.
Christensen for the Wildcats.
Runner out at second base is Torgerson. That's a ball outside.
And we're talking about averages. You know, the last batter had .468. Get this one, .603 on the year. 8 home runs, 10 doubles, and 1 triple, as Madison Christensen is their star.
Hitting in the 3-hole. She brings the lumber to the plate, even though it's not lumber in high school. 1-1 the count. Ooh, off-speed pitch gets her. Ooh, they got to have Torgerson in rundown.
And got a pickle here. We love it here at Union Stadium. Pickle.
And they're going to tag her. No!
Oh, wow.
She gets under the tag and is in there safe as the throw came from Mason Nelson to Ross. And Torgerson was able to get under that slide. So now, with 1 out, runner at third base, a fly ball or a ground ball as the Cougars are playing back, will get this run in. Another off-speed pitch. This one has bounced. A nice block there by the catcher, Horricks.
Yeah. And that's just some quick agility by Torgerson, running the bases, caught in a pickle, and then slides underneath the tag. Wow. Woo! What a
Struck
swing.
her out. So now with 2 outs, runner at third base, it'll bring up the catcher, Morgan. Morgan will step in from the left side. First left-handed hitter we've seen for the Wildcats.
And Allie Rook absolutely brought the heat on that last strike to put Christensen away.
That was a great pitch. Starts her off with a strike.
Kristen Mogan with 5 home runs on the year, so she's a dangerous hitter as well for the Wildcats in the blue and red today.
She's quickly down, no balls and 2 strikes. Mogan, the catcher for the Wildcats. Swung through and strikes out. So Rook comes back after the leadoff double and strikes out the side. No runs, 1 hit, a man left after the top of the first. It's Richfield 0, the Cougars coming up. We'll be back.
At Basin I&E, we are an instrumentation and electrical company for the oil and gas industry. We also do commercial and residential work. We've been working in our local area for over 10 years, and we are proud to be part of the great communities of the Uinta Basin. Our journeyman electricians are fully licensed, bonded, and insured, and we offer high-quality work on every job. Let us come work for you, 435-789-9515, or visit our website at bernalhomeelectrical.com.
Great food begins with great ingredients. We've grown our produce department with more prepared fruits and vegetables for the entire family. We've recently expanded our offerings, so come in and experience the fun, the excitement, and taste the difference.
All right, welcome back. Bottom of the first inning. The Cougars will, the starting lineup for the Cougars, leading off playing left field is Nilsson, number 12. Batting second, playing second base, number 3, Delcy Lamb. Doing the catching and hitting third, number 7, Marley Horricks. Playing shortstop and hitting cleanup, number 16, Mesa Nilsson. And batting fifth, playing first base, number 11, Mallory Bostic. The number 6 hitter wearing number 5 and playing third base, Tori Ross. Number 17 is hitting 7th. That's Addie Martin as the designated player. Hitting 8th and playing center field is Brindy Bartlett. She wears number 2. Hitting 10th, number 10, and playing right field, that is Chloe Hyder. And doing the pitching is Allie Rook. She is also known as the flex. That's one of the differences is you've got a flex player and you've got a designated player versus a designated hitter like you do in baseball. I don't 100% understand that rule, but we'll work our way through it if we need to go through it.
Well, maybe after that third strikeout, she put that flex in the air.
Exactly.
You just nicknamed her that.
That's the flex there. We're going to have a bunt here by Nilsson, and she will beat it out. Nice speed there by the leadoff hitter, Kinley Nelson. And first pitch of the game from Torgerson is a bunt single by Nelson. Torgerson on the mound. Mogan will be doing the catching. Playing first is Smith. Janke at second. Christensen at third. Franks at short.
Delcy Lamb, another girl that is committed to that Big Bend University, and a really good player for this team. Averages at .312, 1 double on the year, and really has some speed once she gets on the base path.
And Lamb bunts that first one foul. And fouls that one off, and it will get up into the screen. So Lamb quickly behind, no balls and 2 strikes.
So we're talking about the differences from baseball to softball. One is on the base path on first base. Nilsson, she can't leave until that ball is out of the hand of the pitcher, so there's no leading off like you can in baseball.
Yeah. And these bases are only 60 feet apart versus the 90 feet in baseball. Lamb will take that high for a ball. Left field is Pershawn, center field Baugh, and right field Knutson for the Wildcats defensively. Popped up, and it's going to drop into no man's land. Nilsson using the speed, but she is going to be forced out at second. as a runner, you're in really no place you can go.
Well, yeah, that play was so close, too, to being caught, so she couldn't really leave until she found out that was going to be caught or not. And, you know, she does get to first, and they get the out at second. Good play for Richfield. But only one out for the Cougars.
This brings up Horrocks. Horrocks will take a strike. Quick snap throw over to first base. Lamb is back in safely.
And Horrocks, senior, she's got a .517 average, 1 home run, 1 triple, and 5 doubles on the year so far. As she swings at that one.
Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. She comes from an athletic family. Both of her older brothers were excellent baseball players for the Cougars. She smacks a pop-up towards center. That's Baugh and giving chase, and we'll make it. And we're going to have a play at first as Lamb is able to get back.
She got really solid contact on that Horrocks, but just hit it a little late, which made it kind of go too far up in the air for it to be fielded by the center fielder.
This is Mesa Nilsson, also an older brother who was a quality player for the Cougars, went on to play some college ball.
And she's also one headed to Washington as well. And, you know, Eva Taylor in her 4th year as the head coach for Union has done a great job with these girls, and pretty much from freshman on worked with them. And her background, she came from Arizona to come coach the Cougars and has really turned this program around.
1-1 now the count as Mesa Nilsson swings a nice swing and fouled it straight back. There she hits that and just got it off the end of the bat. And Christensen will make the play down at third. So the Cougars with a couple of hits but no runs, and they leave a runner stranded. So after one complete, it's no score. We'll be back. All right, we are back as the first pitch to Pershawn is low for a ball. Top of the second inning here. Fouled off to the right. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Shelby Pershawn, also a really good hitter for this Wildcat team, has 3 doubles so far this year.
Rook gets her to swing for strike 1 here in the top of the second inning.
And Rook is, you know, she's just in the zone right now. You can see that plate is just really hot for her right now. Those fastballs are coming in, hitting the high digit speedometer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then you figure in that mound or that rubber pitching circle being so much closer than it is on baseball. That ball gets on you in a hurry.
Wow, she goes. So 4 strikeout.
4 outs and 4 strikeouts for Rook.
So they were talking about Allie Rook and how she operates. is that, you know, it's kind of like when football, you know, you can't get in rhythm until you really take your first hit, you know, from a player and get up and you really get in rhythm. And when she gets people on base, it makes her mad, and so she like starts really putting the power in those arms with that ferocious pitch she's got.
Well, she seems to be pretty focused there as she fires in another strike. This is Pershawn, or excuse me, this is Knutson. Number 98, she attempts the bunt and fouls it, so it's now quickly no balls and 2 strikes. You talk about the that rubber being closer. When I was coaching baseball, I was coaching softball, and a couple of baseball players thought they could hit the softball pitcher because it's a big ball and everything like that. So they went out one day after both teams got done practicing, and yeah, she blew it right past like 3 or 4 of them. They had no clue, no. And there's another strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Rook.
Now batting for Richfield, number 12, Aaliyah
This will
Smith.
bring up the first baseman, Smith.
And you watched on that last play as Tori Ross at third base came up really far to catch that really shallow. You know, the third baseman comes up above the bag, another difference of baseball. You know, you want to be farthest back when you're a third baseman. You're not going to take a ball to the head.
They call it the hot corner in softball. They don't care. I mean, your base is 60 feet away. She's 10 feet in front of that. She's 50 feet, and then moving in to take that. So yeah, a lot of them you'll see wearing a mask there at third base, but not for Ross today.
If you know Tori Ross, she's fearless.
That's a single into right field. Smith just stuck her bat out and was able to get it through the infield.
Abigail Jenke now batting for Richfield.
So Elias Smith with a single, 1 on, 2 outs. With number 6 batting, Abby Jenks, with a .360 average, 1 triple on the year.
It's their second baseman, and she will swing and miss for strike 1. So the runner at first is Smith. Jenke the hitter. Outside, throw down to first, off of the glove of Bostic, and a great job backing up there. That is Hyder, Chloe Hyder. The right fielder was right there as that throw down went off the first baseman's glove. Ground ball to Lamb. Lamb will throw to first, and that will end the top of the second inning. No runs, a hit, a runner left.
Yeah, and nice job by Lamb to be in the right spot right there, put her glove down, and make the easy play to first. 2 strikeouts on the inning for Allie Rook, and she's got 5. And we're keeping track of definitely how many Rook has today. As she has been killing it throughout the season, 10-0 in region. And overall, this team is really good too, 19-6-1.
Exactly. They've played some tough teams.
Yeah, and Richfield, they have 2, and their overall is 12-10. So that's way better than their region in 3-8. So, you know, don't let their record fool you. They can play and come into any game they want to if they want to play, and it looks like they're here to play today because it's a good ball game so far at zeros.
Well, they've got 2 of the top, really 3 of the top 5 teams in 3A. You have the number 1 ranked team going into this tournament. The favorite is Grantsville, followed by then you have Manti, Grand, of course Union, and then also North Sanpete. So 3 of those teams playing in Richfield. Being Manti, the record Grand 10-2, and then North Sanpete. I mean, this Richfield team for being
Maury
being a
Bostic starting
6
things
seed,
off for the
or
Lady
5 seed,
Cats.
excuse me. They're not playing like a normal 5 seed. This will bring up Bostic. Bostic had an older sister that was a great pitcher here for the Cougars just a couple of years ago.
Bostic's a sophomore, so she's really young. She has a great average to 532, 2 home runs on the year already as she pops that one up.
It's going to drop in front of the left fielder, and Bostic on her horse going to have a play at second.
And she got there. Oh,
she may have slid a little soon and had to get a second effort there on the slide, but a great job of base running there by Mallory Bostic.
Call that the Olympic reach when you're like not quite reaching for that gold medal in the Olympics on the swim, and you reach that left hand as far as you can. She got the bag just there.
Tori Ross now batting for the Cats.
The scorebook, it goes down as a solid double to left. And Ross will hit from the left side. She will look to bunt. You know, you see a lot more bunting and a lot more slapping and things like that. Small ball, you call it here in softball. Defense has to be on their toes at all times.
Well, we saw the left fielder. She backed up quite a ways for Boston because she swings away, and that's why that fell right in that gap.
Ross will again go to bunt. She does not. It's called a strike. She does bunt this one. It's in the air, and Christensen, the third baseman, able to get that for the first out of the inning.
I'm coming in.
So in scoring,
Addison Martin now batting for Union.
with number 17 at the plate. Addie Martin, another sophomore, 1 home run on the year.
Martin steps in from the right side, and she smacks a shot, but right at the shortstop. That is Franks.
Wendy Bartlett now batting for Union.
Franks will make the catch.
Good play by Franks too, because that was coming in fast.
Ball 1 to Bartlett. Bartlett, the center fielder for the Cougars.
Looking for her third double.
She'll take ball 2.
She could get a double on this play, then you definitely get a score to reach home plate.
There's a ground ball and thrown to first. So that will end the inning.
And Richfield doing really well out in the field, making routine plays and keeping this Union Cougar teams that have been really hot in check so far. They should be really proud of themselves, as Jeff Anderson said that his team is ready for state playoffs, and they look like
we'll have a sing-along. Everybody wins with a
Both teams have come up
sing-along.
with a leadoff double and been unable to get that run home. So nice job by both defenses here. Quality pitching. Torgerson, there's really only been one solid hit ball. That ball by Martin, the line out to shortstop, was really the most solid hit that we've seen in the game. So she's done a nice job of keeping these Cougar hitters off balance.
That's right. I mean, these pitchers both are really good, and that's why that they're on the plate right now, as they've got to be counted on in these big situations. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, Dan's Tire and Crescent Point Energy, a few of our great sponsors. You know who did the sponsor for the board today?
I don't know. I don't know.
And we got this Jumbotron, the live broadcast in the Jumbotron. And we also thank Delsco Northwest, 2072. Reeling Dine, You in the Basin Healthcare, Peak Well Service, Petrotech, Sunbelt Rentals, and Channel V6.
Coach Taylor was over here talking with the officials. I believe they had a
Marissa Franks starting things off for
change
Richfield.
somewhere, but I'm not sure. Looking out in the field, it looks like everybody is still in their same position, so we'll have to see what that change was she was talking with the umpires about.
And I'm just watching the motion of the pitchers today, and pitching in baseball is a ton different, but I was talking to some softball players a couple days ago, and she was also a pitcher, and they just said it's a lot different. You have to release at different points, especially right from the hip, and you also have everything. You have the change-ups, you have your curveballs, you have your, it's the same way that you hold the ball. It's just a different approach.
Yep. Yeah. And the other thing is they can pitch for forever. It's a natural motion, so you don't have the pitch count like you do in baseball. As there's another strikeout by Rooks as Franks goes down swinging. First out in here in the third inning. So like with the guys in baseball, you get the pitch count.
Back to the top of the lineup for Richfield, it's number 22,
per
Alex
week and all of that
Torgerson.
in softball. If you've got one dominant pitcher, you can ride that one pitcher as much as you want.
That's awesome, and it's safer too. You don't have any Tommy John
No,
surgeries,
you
you know, and that's great.
Torgerson will step up. Torgerson doubled her first time a shot hit over the center fielder Bartlett.
So we're already into the second lineup here, as she was the first up to begin the game.
Ground ball back to the pitcher. Rook will flip it over first for the second out of the inning.
Stroke just went
Rook
viral.
just made that look easy. She just wasn't even looking where the field was going. It just found her
Sit down.
first.
And a great
Madison
defensive
Bowes now
position.
batting for Richfield.
This will bring up Bowes. She's the center fielder. She was called out on strikes back in the first inning. First of, we got 5 now for Rook, 6 for Rook. Six
Still,
strikeouts.
yeah, 6.
How's it looking out of the way?
She fires in a strike here.
And not to mention it's closer, you know, like the plate is closer to that pitcher's, to the catcher's plate, to the home plate. And so you got to be fearless to be the pitcher up there. Most of them wear a mask, but you don't see Allie Rook doing that at all because she's just fearless.
The Richfield defense, all except for their second baseman, have the masks on. There's not a Cougar out there with a mask on, so Cougar tough, right?
That's right.
Yes, we are.
Oh, wow, that was a solid shot.
Bartlett will bring it in for the
I already got some designer to hold on my pants. I just want some ice on my wrist so I look better when I dance. Have you looking at it, put you in a trance. I just wanna rollie.
shorter, a lot closer fence than your baseball fields are. But with the bigger ball, it just doesn't travel. It's also the density of the ball is not quite as hard as what a baseball is. They're still plenty hard. No, I wouldn't want to be hit with one for sure. So
No.
But
it makes the game more exciting. More home runs, more exciting. It definitely is an exciting sport. I haven't seen softball a whole lot, but I'm becoming a fan really quick.
It's a fun game, and it was a fun game to coach. There's a lot of strategy involved in the game. As you've seen, the Cougars, especially with the bunts and stuff, there's a lot of strategy involved in playing this game.
Yeah, like you said, how there's a long game, a short game. It's pretty cool, and I've been watching some college softball over the week just to kind of study for this game, and I'm a fan now. This is cool.
It's really a fun game as Hyder attempts to bunt there, and she bunts that foul. Another one of the Cougars who comes from a long line of athletic family members. Of course, Chloe is a triplet. Both brothers very athletic. Her older brother I coached when I was coaching. Great bunt there as a good field by Torgerson, and she is going to throw her out.
And she had the speed going, and it was close, but Torgerson just had the arm right there and a perfectly placed ball.
Torgerson had to make that barehanded, to field the ball barehanded and make a perfect throw, or she was not going to get her.
That was a well-executed bunt. That was exactly where you want it.
And Nelson will take that for a strike. She singled her first time at bat, was then forced at second and she will take a ball there. So 1-1 to count on the Cougar left fielder.
And Kinley Nelson, just a freshman, standing here at home plate with some really good numbers at 489
That's
average.
a nice slap into left field. Nicely done. Right in, and that's a disadvantage when you bring your third baseman in like that. If you can get up by him, there's a lot of room there to get it through. So a nice slap single.
Is there a certain amount of steps that you can take to go forward and then hit the ball like that when they slap it? Or
you have to be still inside the batter's box when you contact the ball.
All right.
I believe is the rule. This will bring up Lamb. Lamb singled her first time at bat, and she looks to bunt as well. Pulls back on the ball. Another thing you don't see very often in baseball, but you see more so in softball, is the catcher Mogan back there is left-handed. You rarely see that in baseball, having a left-handed catcher, but you see that some in softball, and she's done a nice job back there behind the dish today as a left-hander. That ball comes in, ball 2.
Yeah, let's see if they try to move, Nelson, number 12. They have a lot of stolen bases this year. They have 41, the Cougars do, which is a leading in their region. As they look to go there, and the catcher is ready for it on a high pitch by Torgerson.
So 3-0 now the count. We'll see if Lamb is taking, and she is, and takes ball 4. And that's the first walk of the game by either pitcher.
And good vision from number 3 right there, Delcy Lamb.
This could be the spot where the Cougars really break it open, as they've got 1 out, runners at first and second. The heart of their lineup, as Marley Horricks will stand in. Marley flew out to center field her first time. Hit it a long ways, but didn't hit it hard, didn't hit it solid.
She was so close to hitting that solid like you wanted, but she's going to get it this time.
She swings at that first pitch and fouls it straight back. She wasn't far off of it. That nice swing there by Horricks.
And in these situations, in state playoffs, you definitely want your senior to come through, and she is a senior that you can count on.
The loft speed pitch, she saw it early and laid off.
And we were watching the Union game last week with the baseball team, and we were talking about their patience at the plate, and I'm seeing a lot of the same things from Union. They're waiting for their pitch.
Ground ball, she's safe at second. She's safe all around.
So we got the bases loaded with 1 out as the Cougars look to capitalize.
Franks, the shortstop, went to take it herself, and she was unable to. Latui will come in and run. So that'll put runners at all of the bases loaded for Mesa Nielsen.
Another solid senior for this team, 458 average, 7 doubles on the year. With the bases juiced.
Ball off the shortstop's glove. That'll score 1, and it will score 2 as Lamb comes in. And nice base running. Latui is going to come in and score as well. The Cougars with 3. Nelson will end up at third on a single as the Wildcats throw it around a little bit, and the Cougars score 3.
Yeah, the hit just hit the top of the mitt of the Wildcats and went in the field. But what was awesome about that play was bringing in the pitch runner with Lepeka Latui and how she ran the bases right there and put pressure to make that throw to third, and they threw it, off the mark, and they got another couple runs in. So big time play for the Union Cougars.
So we have opened up the scoring here as the Cougars score 3, and just with 1 out, they have Nielsen over at third base as she smartly advances as the ball was being thrown around, and just a single up the middle, a clean single up the middle.
You were talking about it, Merlin, how it can be a real low-scoring game, or it can turn to a real high-scoring game real fast, as it's 3-0 as you blink an eye.
Yeah. Bostic, who reached on a double back in the second inning, stands in 1 for 1 on the day. She will bunt, and she is going to beat that out as well.
And the runner will score. Number 16 slides to home plate, Mason Nielsen, who had that great single as the bases were loaded.
That's really, they were going for the sacrifice, the squeeze play, And that runner just broke as soon as it was hit. And Torgerson went to field it barehanded like she had earlier, but she was unable to this time. So Bostic safe at first, and Ross will stand in, take a pitch low for ball 1.
And now we'll see if, the Wildcats can calm down a little bit and end this inning and slow the bleeding just a little bit. As it looked like Tori Ross got hit in the shoulder and then the head with the ball.
After she fouled it off, bunted attempt there. I think she was trying to pull the bat back, actually.
She was just trying to defend herself with the bat.
That's going to be a tough play, and I don't think they'll get her. No way. Ross with too much speed.
And Ross just gets that bat underneath the ball, so it puts a spin on it. As it hits the ground, it comes back the other way, so it's almost like a glorified blunt, and she's off to the races to first base.
When her dad listens to this, he's going to laugh, because I'm going to say that looked just like him running down the line. Fouled off here by Martin. Martin with a line shot back to Franks in the second inning as she hit it right on the nose, but right at the Richfield shortstop. Stands in.
And before this big rally, Torgerson has really been throwing the ball well from the pitcher's mound. Just had a little bit of a struggle here in this inning so far.
Ahead of that one so quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Martin. Again, just 1 out here. Runners at first and second for the Cougars. Good pitch by Torgerson. Off-speed pitch, Martin swings through it for the 2nd out of the inning.
And that's just what you need to get your composure back a little bit. Get 2 outs, it's down to 1. Just focus on this batter, get him out, and get out of this inning.
Bartlett will stand in. She grounded out to the shortstop last inning. She will stand in right there. And takes a strike, so 1-1 now the count on the center fielder for the Cougars, Brindy Bartlett. That is high for a ball, so 2 balls and 1 strike the count on Bartlett. Runner Ross at first. A ground ball to the third baseman, Christensen. She will fire across to Smith, and that will end the inning. However, the Cougars jump out for 4 runs, and at the end of 3, it's the Cougars 4, the Wildcats 0. We've seen how quickly that things can lead to runs here in this game of softball.
Yeah, and Torgerson got exactly what she wanted on that play right there to get that strikeout to end the inning. Like I said, you just got to get your composure back and put that in the back of your mind that 4 runs just happened.
And they're Richfield, when they scored those 3 runs off the single by Nilsson, couple of miscues there as the throw came off of the third baseman's glove, allowed the 3rd run to come in and score. But a good job there by the Cougars, and Richfield, as you've mentioned, they're not done. They're not hanging their head in the dugout right now.
No,
they have the power to come back and get back.
You don't come this far at state, and then come to Union and then lay an egg. You got to take care of business, and they're doing that. They're a good team.
It's probably going to take a monumental effort as Rook is really throwing the ball well. So, you hear me?
As Allie Rook throws that first pitch after a big inning on the other side.
Yeah, you're going to have to take it. I'm done. There's nothing. One ball and 2 strikes on Christensen.
as there's a shot to center field, and she's got it.
Nelson with the catch.
Kristen Moken now batting for Richfield. Now batting for Richfield, number 24, Shelby Pershawn.
I don't know if it came unplugged or what. But I've got nothing. Can they hear you?
No, I think we're out. I got nothing.
Courtney Gibson now batting for Richfield.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up? Well, no, I'm not on.
Gibson, the hitter. She will take ball one, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner at first is Pershawn. And that will end the inning.
Big
as
strikeout there by Allie Rook. Finishing the side right there as Knutson is done swinging.
All right.
So 4-0 in the 4th inning. Merlin, we got a pretty good game here going on.
Yes, indeed, as the Wildcats attempted to get back in there. They did get a base runner as Pershawn walked, but Rook was able to come back and strike Knutson out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Torgerson come back from that last inning. She had 2 really good plays. She had a strikeout to end the side, and we'll see if that can, come into this inning as well.
7 strikeouts now for Rook, and just the 1 walk in the game here. The Cougars will send up Chloe Hyder. Chloe grounded out to start last inning, and then the hit parade and the run parade began for the Cougars. So we'll see if we can get it again, as Chloe had that great bunt back to Torgerson, and Torgerson made the excellent play with the one hand, the same play that she was unable to do on Ross that got by her, and with Ross's speed, she was safe.
Yeah, really the Wildcats have done a great job out in the field making routine plays all day. And when stuff does haunt this team, it is the errors. They do have 66 on the year, which is pretty high. And you have a team like Union that's in first in their region, and they only have 43.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can kind of judge a team off how many mistakes they make. And when you make mistakes, it turns into runs most often.
Yes,
as it did with that big throw to third as Lepeka Latui.
Yeah, with the extra run there. So Hyder will stand in 0 for 1 on the day. And she'll take that for a ball. Cougars have done a nice job recognizing pitches today and laying off. As we just have the 1 strikeout. As Torgerson has struck out just the 1.
Chloe
2 balls,
Hyder.
no strikes.
Chloe Hyder, she's looking for her, a 3rd home run on the year here. She swung away on that one as she goes to slap on the next pitch.
Takes that for a strike, so.
So not necessarily, you don't have to commit to a home run every time. You just, you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you just take what you can get there. And she swings and misses.
I guess it's kind of like bunting, you know, when you bunt and then your third base coach says, okay, swing away on this one.
So 2-2 the count on Hyder.
As another assistant coach as Kalen Parsons, a really good baseball player himself, played at BYU, coaching these girls too. And you can see, you know, the efforts that all these coaches have done for these girls throughout the years. And that's why they're such a good team.
Nelson will stand in, 2 for 2 on the day. Single back in the first, single in the fourth, and came around and scored the first Cougar run. She will take ball 1. She played a nice left field as well. Bunts that one foul. We'll even the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, and I've noticed a big difference between Torgerson from this inning to last, as she's really getting a rhythm right now and getting more confident at the plate.
Confidence is a lot.
It's everything in
Especially
baseball.
when you're dealing with 16 and 17, 18-year-old kids. That one's fouled over.
And that one was really close. Like I said, we're going to catch a foul ball today. It's going to happen, and I'm ready.
I don't see your glove. You're going to go barehanded, huh?
Barehanded.
2 strikes, or 1 ball, 2 strikes on Nelson. And she smacks that one foul. Christensen with a nice effort over there. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Cougars 4, the Wildcats 0. And Nelson will swing at that one, fouls it back once again.
And Nelson's doing a really good job of, you know, staying alive at the plate, making the pitcher really, Torgerson really work on that mound.
Just keep battling up there. And the pitch towards third. Christensen gonna field, and no chance. Nelson with a lot of speed, able to reach base safely. So another infield single.
And I don't know if you could see that, Merlin, but it looked like that was a curveball, and it went out to the outside, and she reached for that and hit it right down the baseline of the third base, and so that, you know, she ran as fast as she could and beat the throw.
That'll bring up Lamb. Lamb has walked and singled. Came around to score the 2nd run back in the 3rd inning. Delsey will also be hitting from the left side. A lot of these Cougars do hit from the left side. You see a lot of the movement, the bunt, the slap, just like that, trying to get it past that drawn-in third baseman, and it goes just foul.
And, you know, I'm being new to this game and watching this game, I can see why that third baseman, you know, needs to come up, because almost every hit, they're trying to slap it right to that point.
1-1 to count. She'll take that high for a ball. The outfield really drawn in as Lamb will hit here, and she will take that outside. Runner goes, Nelson, good slide, and she is in there safely as she slid around the backside and hooked that bag there, so a stolen base for Nelson.
Yeah, and that's our first attempted steal that we've seen from both teams, and now that's 42 stolen bases on the year for the Cougars.
And that is going to be
see what kind of play they do if they have her slap it or swing away.
And she's going to hit it right through the drawn in. The center fielder is up quickly, though, as the outfield was drawn in close. The center fielder came up with it and does not allow Nelson to come around and score. She will advance to third, and Lamb will be on for her 3rd time today with her 2nd single. It will bring up Horrocks. Horrocks has flown out to center and also reached base on a fielder's choice where the shortstop tried to go to second, and Lamb was able to beat her to the bag and was safe at second base. Ball is hit high into center field. The center fielder can't see the ball. It drops. The run will score, and being forced out at second Ooh, that was a very close play. It will be
Wow.
an RBI.
Yeah, on that replay, you can see on the big board that was well hit. It just, she got all of it, just hit it a little bit high, and it went pop fly, but it got lost in the sun for that center fielder to make a play. But then she came back and threw it to second and got the out. So a good play by the Wildcats.
Very close play there at second. A lot of boos here from the Cougar faithful. As the umpire said that Lamb was out.
But they did get someone home, so it's 5-0 Cougars.
An RBI there for Horrocks. As Nilsson goes down and hits that. And I'm thinking it must have been caught.
Wow.
They said out, so a great play. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it because we're kind of blinded by the thing, but on
We'll
a
see
replay, let's check it out.
Replay here.
See if they catch this shot, if it's a diving grab. Oh, wow, it is a diving grab.
Nice play.
A
That
web
was
gem for
Knutson.
a Saturday.
Knutson wearing my favorite number 98 out there. Able to make a great play to get the Wildcats out of the 5th inning.
That's like wearing the 0 when you're playing basketball.
Yeah. You just don't see 98 very much in softball or baseball.
No, that's great.
All right, the Cougars, 3 singles in that inning, are able to get one across. A great defensive play.
Yeah, to see that, replay on the big board as she, dived for the ball and laid out for it. That's awesome when you can, when you're that invested and you make plays for your team. You don't worry about your body. You just make the play.
Exactly.
Top of the 5th inning.
So 5th inning, they'll bring up Smith, Janke, and Franks, the bottom third of their lineup. Tell us a little bit how Rook's done today.
She has 7 strikeouts, right? That's a phenomenal. I mean, that's a good game for anyone just ending right now.
There's only been 12 outs recorded, and 7 of them have come on the strikeout, and she will start.
And not to mention her efficiency. She's not thrown very many pitches.
No.
We haven't seen her play that much, but she is in the zone and battling out there.
The Wildcats stranded runners back in the 1st and 2nd inning, but Rook has held them to just 1 base runner. Since then, back in the 4th inning, she issued her first walk of the game, but then came back and got a strikeout to end it.
Yeah,
and make that number 8.
And watching her, it's not just putting the strike over the plate. It's her placement. Every time it's going different places. She's going to the left, back to the right, but she's hitting that corner every single time. So it is so tough to hit a pitcher that can really get good ball placement like that.
Janke will stand in. She grounded out to second back in the 2nd inning. And a nice bunt is going to go foul. If that would have stayed fair, Ross may have had a chance at her. She was on that ball in a hurry.
And she was ready to throw that, take that step and take a jab step and throw it, but didn't get the chance with the foul ball. But she'll be aware on this play that it could be going there again.
Pitch bounces in there to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Janke, the 8 hitter. The Cougars pretty much straightaway defense on the infield. The outfield, the center fielder Bartlett pushed around too bright as that pitch comes in for a ball.
And Abby Jenks is real smart at the plate. She has good patience. She has good vision. 1 triple on the year, a .360 average. Lives on base.
And she will take a strike. So 2-2 now the count. Rook gets a sign and delivers. Ooh, just outside.
And another good look there by Abby.
Runs the count to full, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And this is where you're looking for that hit right here. She's got to put it right down the plate. Oh, and she does. It's just a little bit high, and she swings low as Abby Jenks.
Number 9, strikeout number 9 for Rook.
9 strikeouts. So the other day we had 10 strikeouts for Lincoln Labrum from the Cougars. Allie Rook wants to counter and maybe get more.
Exactly. I'll see your 9 and add to it as that one is fouled back.
And we got plenty of time. It's only the 5th inning.
So 2 outs here in the 5th. Cougars lead 5-0.
And if anybody can get them started, Marissa Franks, 356 average, 3 home runs.
And she will ground softly to the first baseman, and that is Bostic. Bostic will pick it up and go unassisted as she just steps right on the bag for the 3rd out of the inning. And that'll put Richfield down to just 6 outs remaining. As we are in the now going to the bottom of the 5th inning, the Cougars lead by 5.
You know, the way that Allie Rook is pitching and stuff, like what kind of things can you do to counter to get back in this game? I'm a not too knowledgeable about softball. I want to know what kind of game plan they have to get back into this game, how they can counter Allie Rook.
All right, here we go, everybody.
That's a really good question. I mean, they've got a runner to third base one time, and that was the top of the 1st inning, as they had Jorgensen that got to third base. And other than that, they've got a couple runners that have reached first base, one on a single and another on a walk.
And it looks like they've tried to do plenty of things. They've tried slapping it, they've tried bunting it, they've tried to hit it away, and they just haven't found an answer, you know,
and early on, they hit a couple of balls hard. They were just at people. And, you know, I don't think they've lost their confidence. I think they'll get up there and continue swinging. And we saw in that 3rd inning for the Cougars how quickly you can score some runs. So they got 6 outs left, but, you know, they're gonna go up there and swing the bats and try to get back in this.
Yeah, and they actually had one that was really close when we kind of had a little blackout for us.
Yeah.
That they almost hit a home run. It went foul just barely, but it went over the fence. So they are looking to, you know, get contact and get back in this game.
The big thing is they got to play defense here and keep the Cougars from scoring anymore and just keep it at that 5.
And defensively, I thought they've done a pretty good job. They've only had, you know, that one big error that cost them really big-time runs. But other than that, they've been making the routine plays they needed. The only thing is that they haven't been catching the ball in the outfield. That's one of the things they have needed to work on. And it's tough when you get a ball lost in the sun, though.
Yeah, exactly. Bostic will foul that one off. She's got a double back in the 1st, or back in the 2nd, and a single in the 1st. And she will take low. 1-1 to count on the Cougar first baseman, Mallory Bostic.
And she's the doubles leader for this team, Mallory Bostic. 9 doubles on the year. Looking for her 10th.
She'll take that one high for ball 2. Beautiful day here at Union High School. 1st round state softball playoffs. That ball is shot past the second baseman for her 3rd hit of the game. 3 for 3 for Bostic as she singles once again.
And she's just really good. I mean, every time she gets to the plate, she's getting on base, and that's why she has such a high average of 532 and counting right now.
And Ross will step in and take low. Ross will check down at Coach Taylor, get the signs. Fouls that one straight back off of the catcher's glove.
So not only do we have this game going on right now, but I guess this tournament continues on here at a beautiful, you know, facility that Union has going on. I know you were talking to me before the game about what teams are going to be playing after this, but
North Sanpete's one of them, and they've just been sitting here by us. They will play, it had listed the number 3 seed out of Region 13, and there was a tie between Summit Academy and South Summit. I'm not sure who ended up getting that 3rd place spot, and I haven't seen the team come in, so we'll see who plays that 2nd game. But 2-2 the count on Ross. And she'll take high. Full count now as Torgerson delivers that pitch high. She gets that one down the left field line. It's going to go foul.
And that was a good pitch by Torgerson, but Tori Ross was on that one. Just missed it foul.
Do you have an average for Ross on the year?
Yeah, she's a good player with 400, you know, so she has 3 doubles, and so, like, she can hit the ball well, and she can really slap the ball well, too, as she steps up and tries to do it right down the middle.
Shortstop.
That's
nice
exactly
job.
how you want it, and she does it.
Yes, indeed. So her second single of the day. Runners at first and second, no outs here for the Cougars.
So we've seen a couple batters from the Union Cougars hit it right there on second base, and it's not luck. They're really positioning themselves to hit the ball where they want it to go.
Addie Martin will attempt to bunt and foul it back. Addie looking for her first hit of the game. She crushed a shot to the shortstop back in the second inning, and then was a strikeout victim in the third inning. It's good pitching by Torgerson.
She is a definite threat for the long ball. Has 1 home run on the year.
And that one hit her.
Yeah.
So,
I was wondering why it was the first pitch.
Yeah.
It hit her in the foot, or I believe the leg.
So we're going to have...
So Addie takes one for the team. We'll put LaPecca Latui in to run. Now to bring up Brittany Bartlett.
Looks like 14, that is LaPecca Latui. She will come in for Addie Martin to run. So that's going to load the bases up with no outs. And it'll bring up Bartlett. Bartlett with a couple of ground outs. She will take high, ball 1. Latui, the younger sister of a couple of great football players for the Cougars in past years. Bartlett fouls that back.
And Brady, she's a senior again, and has 2 doubles this year, 3 home runs.
Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike for Bartlett. Actually, 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count on Bartlett. And we got the Richfield coach going to come out and talk to the umpire, pointing over at the runner at first base. Checking something. Apparently, the umpire gave him a satisfactory answer. He goes back to the Richfield dugout. And we will resume play. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Bartlett. Bases full of Cougars. No outs. Swung on and missed. Good pitching.
Yeah, just as you say, no outs. A perfect place thrown ball right there by Torgerson.
Took something off that. Bartlett was out front of that, unable to hold up.
And I believe that's her 4th or 5th strikeout, so she's starting to do really well too. Torgerson warming up. And the bases are still juiced for number 10, Chloe Hyder.
Hyder 0 for 2 on the day as well, as she grounded back to the pitcher and then was a strikeout victim back in the 4th inning. She will stand in and take a pitch for a ball.
We talked about earlier, next level, Mesa Nilsson, Chloe Hyder, Marley Horrocks, Allie Rook, and Delcy Lamb, all 5 of them going to the same college. How often does that happen?
Not very often, as that is a pop out to the third baseman for the second out. So it has quickly gone from bases loaded, no outs, to bases loaded and 2 outs. But it brings up Nelson. Nelson, they've yet to get her out today, as she is 3 for 3 on 2 runs scored. And
a really good grab there by the catcher to not let that one go by her, because you have the bases loaded. Someone was trying to think about running home on that play.
Mogan did a nice job.
Mogan.
Nelson will take ball inside.
And Torgerson doesn't seem phased that, that there's 3 people on right now. Yeah, the psyche is great for her. She's got 2 outs. She's got her right where she wants her.
But she's fallen behind 3-0, so she's got to come here with a strike.
Yeah, you don't want to walk someone here because you walk them right to home plate.
Yeah.
And that was a great pitch, a good answer.
A nice job by Nelson to take that pitcher's pitch, especially on 3-0. And it'll be a ground ball to short and through the shortstop,
wow.
Franks. And that will lead to a run, so an error on Franks.
And an uncharacteristic error right there because she's usually really good at catching that ball in that position. Number 34, Marissa Franks, it kind of was weird because the runner was kind of in the way, so it had a blind spot there, went underneath her legs.
Well, Nilsson gets down the line really quick. That's what speed will do. It'll force an infielder to try and make a play before they need to, and she comes up this time and throws out Lamb. Franks does. But the Cougars do plate another run, so at the end of 5, it is the Cougars 6 and the Wildcats 0.
And that's what you want to see as a coach. When they make a mistake, you don't want it to get in their head. You got to forget about it, and she makes the routine play right off the bat and ends the side.
Because Lamb gets down the field or down the baseline very quickly as well. But Franks did a nice job, stepped up and threw her out. So another run on the board for the Cougars. Couple of hits, an error, and left 3 of them on. But that'll bring Richfield up to face Rook. They will send the top of their lineup, Torgerson, who has reached, she led off the game with a double. She will be the first batter, followed by Bowe and Christensen. You mentioned Christensen, one of the top power hitters in the state.
Yeah, a great average of 603, home runs 8 and 10. Oh, she already had. Did she have a double today?
No, she has not.
Okay, so she has 10 doubles.
Yeah. So this is where Richfield hopes to get back into it as they send the top of their liner up against Rook. Rook with 9 strikeouts.
Nine strikeouts on the day. She's waiting for that 10th still.
She's on her way as she fires in strike 1 on just a pitch that's right there on the block, right on that outside corner.
And she has it because she's got the mojo, puts the 1 in the air as she throws that strike down the plate. And a change-up on that play, 1-1 right there. They call that one a ball.
So, Rook is strong showing as she fires the next pitch, and that is in there for a strike right at the knees. Right where she wanted it.
And her release point has just been perfect today.
Took something off that pitch, and Torgerson was able to foul it off to stay alive.
I think she's only had like 2 pitches that have hit the dirt.
She has looked very good today, pitched very well. And strikeout number 10 as Torgerson is caught looking.
Yeah, that was perfect right at the corner, and guns are down. Number 10 matches Lincoln Labrum.
That'll bring up
of last week on Channel V6.
That'll bring up Bowe. She has struck out, been called out on strikes, and flew out to Bartlett in center. She'll take ball 1. And Rook is quickly back to even at 1-1 as she fires a strike in there. Defense for the Cougars in the outfield pull way around to right field. Not expecting Baugh to be able to pull Rook. And that pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2.
Also can pitch too, Madison Baugh, one of 3-0 on the year.
The format for this game, the winner of this game will advance to play next week, as that is strikeout number 11. As Bow goes down for the second time. That'll bring up Christensen. Christensen striking the flew out to left field in the fourth inning.
11 strikeouts for, Rook, which is crazy. You're out in the field and you're almost getting bored because there's so many strikeouts. You're not getting much action out there, but they really love her as their pitcher, as you can see, as they all come together and have that camaraderie. And you have to have that chemistry to be such a good team on any sport, on any level.
Rook back and evens the count out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Started her off with an off-speed pitch. Christensen laid off that. And there's a little pace, and it's low, so 2 balls and a strike on Christensen. As I was saying, the winner of this game will advance to the state tournament next week, and then the winner of the next game will do the same. The losers of this first game and the next game, they will then play in Game 3 here today, and the winner of that game will advance to the state tournament as well. The loser of that game will be done for the year.
And you can see on that swing of Christensen what power she has. She uses her legs to get that power, and if she gets a hold of that ball, it is gone as she gets just under that one.
That's going to drop for a single just in between Rook and the infielders, the second baseman Lamb. That ball come off that bat at a very strange, a lot of spin on that. As Christensen got just enough of it, so she will.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times today as you hit the bottom of the ball like that and it makes that crazy spin, that backspin that you want in golf.
Yeah, exactly. Mogan will step in. She's struck out and flown out to right, and she swung at that pitch that was high. I thought initially it was a foul ball, but apparently not. It just got past the pitcher. So the runner will advance on the wild pitch. That's going to be popped up. And the
it's
out
caught.
Will be made. Looks like that was Lamb with the catch. Over in fair territory, the second baseman makes the catch. We'll check it on the replay here. No. No, it was actually the first baseman, Bostic, who made the play. So,
and she did a great job right there to not lose it in the sun. I mean, I was directly in the sun. As you could see, she was just adjusting at the very end and made that grab.
And we were pretty much at high noon, so that sun is going to affect him. So
we were talking about we had some what was that last game we called with Union? That was really close to a monsoon weather. And they started the game earlier, but it was pretty much dark the whole game, so that wasn't an issue. They didn't have to have the sunglasses, and no balls were getting lost in the sun.
No,
so
the lightning strikes at the end was the only issue.
Yeah, it was amazing how it just ended right in the right time, because they would have definitely had to cancel that game for lightning because it was getting close.
Yeah, it would have definitely been called. So. Well, the Cougars lead 6-0. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Wildcats will have 3 more outs in the top of the 7th inning. It is extremely important that they hold the Cougars scoreless here. If the Cougars are able to add some more, it could be trouble there. Again, we'd like to thank our sponsors here sponsoring this softball game today. We got Delsco Northwest, Relodyne, Unibasin Healthcare, Peak Well Service, Petrotech, Sunbelt Rentals, Channel V6, Dan's Tire, and Moon Lake Electric, along with Crescent Point Energy. We appreciate them. Wouldn't be able to bring these games to you if it was not for these fine sponsors, and we are grateful for them. The kids love this. They're able to go back and watch these games and see themselves.
And not to mention the big board, it just makes it a really cool atmosphere for this softball tournament to have that.
Select Reynolds is out there holding it up. I'm not sure who brought the board in, but that's a Select Reynolds piece of equipment holding it up out there. This will be Horrocks. She has reached on a single and also a fielder's choice and came around to score. That is actually V6's screen out there, V6 Media screen, so we appreciate them, and they're bringing this to you, and that's going to drop in for a single for Horrocks.
Great job there by Horrocks to just hit that gap and place that ball right there as they bring in a pinch hitter, number 1, Allie Earl.
I believe she's just a freshman.
Now batting for Union, Mesa Nielsen.
Mesa Nielsen will step in. She is singled and flown out to right, also scored a run for the Cougars.
And these last couple pitches of Torgerson, just it's kind of she's taken a little bit off it. I don't know if she's starting to get worn down a little bit, but definitely not having the velocity that she had in the last couple of innings.
Throw down to first, and Earl is back in there safely. Earl comes from a long line of athletes. Her father was a great athlete here for the Cougars. As we have a little number 2, and the second baseman and the pitcher run into one another, and Mesa is going to be safe on an infield single, as they did not have the communication there, and neither one were able to come up with the play.
Yeah, you said it with the communication. You got to be yelling it, saying, hey, that's my ball or my so one's got to get out of the way and one's got to grab that. But just some miscommunication right there leads to another bad. Great play.
And safely back in there. A great play by the second baseman, as that ball was hit on the nose by Bostic, the second baseman, but it was hit so hard that nobody was covering second, and the Horrocks, or actually Earl, was able to get back in.
And Abby Jenks, when she caught that, she just took off and slid to second base to try to beat her out. And what an effort play by the Wildcats, still here in the 6th inning, trying so hard.
Ross steps in 2 for 3 on the day, a couple of singles, also a pop out to the third baseman. And that's going to be a little slap to the pitcher. The pitcher will fire and get her at first. It will advance runners to second and third now, but 2 outs. That'll bring up Lepeka Latui, as she came in as a pinch runner for Martin.
Yeah, we've seen her on the base path. We haven't seen her, at the plate hitting the ball yet. She has a .425 average and 1 home run and 5 doubles.
That pitch is a nice play by Mogan to just catch it, as it was
that was way high, yeah,
outside. So Latui stand in with 1 ball. Runners at first and second. And Latui hits a fly ball out to left. The left fielder, it's going to get over her head. So a double, a 2 RBI double for Latui.
And wow, what a hit by Latui. Gets really good contact on that over the fielder's head on the replay and gets the double, and that's her 6th double.
I'm not sure if the sun played any into that, as the sun is bright for sure. But looked like she initially had a beat on it, and then that ball just kept carrying
right.
And right over her head. So a nice shot there by Latui. That'll bring up Bartlett. Bartlett 0 for 3 on the day. She will take a pitch to make it 1 ball and 1 strike. That one's high. 2 balls and no strikes. So the Cougars, with those 2 runs, have taken an 8-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Three and 1 now the count on the Cougars center fielder.
And you know that she wants to, get her first hit of the day here. She's got a good stance and a good swing.
And that one is going to be caught by Franks. Didn't get all of that one. Nice swing, but just missed the sweet spot of the ball there for Bartlett. So that'll end the sixth. A couple more runs in for the Cougars. And they have taken that 8-0 lead. And Richfield is down to their final 3 outs. They will be sending up their 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Pershawn, Knutson, and Smith. Pershawn has reached on a walk. Knutson yet to reach. She's got 2 strikeouts. And Smith singled back in the second inning. So Richfield looking to stay alive. The Cougars looking to advance to the state tournament next week. And their next games will be played at Spanish Fork starting on May 9th of next week. I believe that's next Thursday. So they will look to be going there if they can get 3 more outs. We've got Rook in the side the circle with 11 strikeouts on the day. Fires ball 1 to Pershawn, the left fielder for the Wildcats.
And Pershawn should love to get things started here, to get her on base and get this inning started right and not behind. As Rook is just ruthless at the plate there.
Good pitch right there on the outside corner.
Curveball, or was that a changeup? I couldn't tell. We're
Strike.
at a hard angle.
Yeah, we are at a tough angle to pick up what it is.
Yeah.
And that's going to be off of Lamb's glove. So a base runner, Pershawn, will reach.
Yeah, and exactly what the Wildcats needed, to really stay in this game or try to make a rally in this last inning. When you have that last inning and you're up and that first batter goes down, it's almost over. But when that first player gets on base, it puts a new regenerative life into a team.
Ooh.
Good cover right there. I thought, I was like, where's she going to go or what?
So throwdown gets off of the first baseman's glove, or that was actually the second baseman covering.
So like in baseball, if that would have been off the glove, that's easy to second. But, man, she wasn't far behind
the
there
right
in right
fielder,
field.
Hyder, did a nice job as this one goes off the catcher Horrocks' glove. And the runner, Pershawn, will advance to second.
So the Richfield Wildcats in scoring position with 98 at the plate, and Knutson.
She'll take that for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Knutson struck out in the second and in the fourth. And she'll take strike 2, so 2-2 quickly to count on Knutson. Nobody out, runner at second base. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Cougars 8, Wildcats looking to get on the board. Pitch is popped up, and Horrocks will make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Both these catchers for both teams have done a good job all day long of, not too many wild pitches for Union to deal with, but Horrocks done a solid job behind the plate right there as catcher.
Smith, the first baseman, will stand in. Takes that pitch on the outside corner for strike.
What's that?
She singled back in the second and then struck out in the 5th. Pershawn, the runner, out at second. That's going to be popped up on the infield. Lamb will call for it and make the catch. So the Richfield Wildcats are down to their last out. And it will be number 6. That is the second baseman, Janke.
Number 6, Abigail Janke now batting.
And she has grounded out to second and also struck out. So 0 for 2 on the day.
And she's the one that had that good grab and then dove to second to try to get that double play. I just love her effort all day long here today.
Great hustle.
And nothing more than Allie Rook wants a strikeout to end the game. 1 strike, 2 strikes away.
That's a dead ball. It hit the runner in the batter's box, so it'll be a strike.
So now 1 strike away from the 12th strikeout to end the game.
The board has it as 1-1, but I could have swore he called that first one a strike.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll see if we're right or the board operator's right. Apparently, the board operator was right. So now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that was a really nasty pitch too, right down the middle with some heat. As here's this one coming too.
That's fouled off, so the Wildcats stay alive as they trail 8-0 here. 2 outs, top of the 7th inning.
Be interested to see if she throws a changeup here or just strikes her out with a fastball.
And there is the strikeout. Number 12 took a little off. All right, well, the Cougars win and advance. So they will be moving on to Spanish Fork next week. And the Cougars will be moving on as they score 8 runs here. A great offensive performance as it started out a little bit slow the first couple innings. They had runners on, unable to get them in. And then in the 3rd inning, they exploded for 4 and added a run in each of the next 3 innings, 2 in the 6th to make it a final of 8-0. Who's your MVP?
Oh,
player of the game?
It's got to be Allie Rook. I mean, she was at the mound just killing it all day. Just throwing strikes and 12 strikeouts. You got to be kidding me, Merlin. And like baseball and softball is all about pitching. And when you have a team that can hit like Union too, I mean that's why they're such a quality team. That's why they're undefeated in region. This team is good. And the Wildcats, they should pat themselves on the back because they did a really good job until that 4th inning where it really started to break out. They had a couple mistakes, and then, they lost it from there. But they were really in this game for quite a while.
Yeah. Rook with 12 strikeouts, 12 of the 21 recorded outs came via the strikeout for Rook. She was on her game today for sure. Torgerson led the game off with a double, and I thought, oh, here we go. And then Rook comes back and strikes the next 5 Wildcats out. Yeah,
and the only thing I was bummed about, man, we didn't get to see a long ball to go over the fence. I wanted to see a home run. But, all in all, it was a really cool game, and I really fell in love with this softball sport. I'm definitely going to keep watching. I'm going to watch, college, and it's really got a mind of its own, and it's really awesome. And you coached it, so you know.
Yeah, it's there's been some rule changes since I coached. It's been a long time ago. So this stuff with the designated player and the flex and all of that wasn't. We just played with the DH back when I was coaching it. So, but they have made some changes. But the Cougars, I'd encourage everybody to, if you can, get out to Spanish Fork and support them. They're one of the favorites. People have said, I read a couple articles, they said that Grantsville is probably the favorite, as Grantsville's a 2-time defending champions. They beat Union last year in the state championship, but the other 3 teams that have a shot that they talked about were these Cougars, and then also Manti and Grand along with North Sanpete.
So their best player, Heidi Taylor from Grantsville, she said that the one team that she's really nervous about is the Union Cougars, and as she should be.
Yeah, exactly. So especially if Rook pitches the way she did today and the Cougars hit the ball like they did today. So, all right, well, 8-0 the final here. The Cougars on their way to Spanish Fork to play they will be playing the winner of this next game, either North Sanpete or the mystery team that I still haven't seen who that is. So.
Well, we had a couple teams behind us the whole time, so it's got to be one of those, the Hawks or the.
One was Richfield, and the other one was North Sanpete. So Richfield's sophomore JV kids were behind us.
I see.
And they were into the game the whole game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, were they?
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, Merlin Rasmussen with Brandon Jones signing off.